The whole panel was shocked when Batya, you know, that girl that works for News Nation, sometimes she's on CNN, which she was tonight. She said, we need to move on and get over the Epstein Files. Mind you, her party was the one pushing for the Epstein Files. And now we're supposed to forget about it? Oh, hell nah. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get all notifications of when I go live or either drop videos. Let's get into this, you guys. Here we go. Supposed to forget about this underground pedo ring and just pretend like it never happened. Let's go ahead and get into the video, you guys. Here we go.
Unsatisfying, to say the least, but
yeah. And also, you know, there are more than 1,000 survivors. How do you think, again, they feel? Trump already said several weeks back before, a couple months back before the Epstein Transparency Act, where they were ordered to release the files. Why is everyone paying attention to this? Let's move on. There are 1,000 survivors waiting for some kind of vindication, justice, prosecution of unprosecuted,
or even a phone call from the Justice Department asking them what they know.
Yes, an interview from law enforcement to help with an investigation of additional perpetrators. And they're getting hearing from the President of the United States, let's move on. It has nothing to do with me, nothing going. I mean, how do they take that? And I've met some of them here at CNN, and just the frustration they are having with the way the government is treating.
And let's not forget, Trump ran on this. He ran on he was going to release the Epstein Files as well as JFK and Martin Luther King Jr., right? So he ran on this.
To them, and to have to watch television and listen to something like that, being a survivor of those type of horrible acts, I can only imagine how their battle continues. And it's just,
have you seen any evidence of new crimes in the millions of documents that have been released, like any criminal activity?
I have not reviewed 6 million pages that
but you've
the government
seen some
released.
of them. I mean,
yes.
And you've seen any crime?
So there have been reports from senators who have read reports that we haven't seen that there are perhaps 20 individuals who may be potential co-conspirators, who may be perpetrators of crimes, and they are asking for those people to be investigated.
Mind you, some of the names of the perpetrators were redacted. Like there's one email to Jeffrey Epstein talking about, oh yeah, I like that little girl or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, but again, that perpetrator was actually redacted. So it's all like, she's trying to play up to, it's like, oh, were there any crimes that you've seen? Here's the thing. They released the Epstein Files and made it so messy and so confusing to confuse us. That's the thing. So, of course, who has time to go over all 3 million emails? Well, actually 6 million in total. Who has time to go over millions of emails? Like, how can you find everything in all these emails? Because mind you, the search engine that they have in the Epstein Files, it's not user-friendly. Like sometimes you'll put in a name and nothing will pop up, but as you're looking through, names will pop up. So yeah, she's playing up to some purpose, you guys.
Being told there's nothing there. We are told that over and over again. In July of 2025, the FBI and the DOJ issued a report, a memo to the public saying, back then, we looked at every file that exists, not telling us there were 6 million pages. We looked in drawers, we looked in file cabinets, we looked at all our Epstein documents, and there's no reason to perpetrate anybody else. Yet, Donald Trump came forth a few months ago and ordered the DOJ and Pam Bondi to investigate well-known Democrats, including Bill Clinton. And she initiated that very day and said, thank you, Mr. President, I'm on it. I'm appointing a U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York to investigate these Democrats who you named in the Epstein
File. So to that point, no, right? You haven't seen evidence of crimes.
But to her point about the willingness to prosecute Bill Clinton or whoever else on the Democratic side, Todd Blanche repeatedly...
Prosecute or investigate?
Investigate, presumptively to prosecute. I don't know, but I presume they're investigating.
But why are they coming in for questioning if there's no crimes? See, again, she's trying to play stupid. Like, oh, well, have they been charged or prosecuted? Yeah, no, they haven't. But why are they even being brought in? If first of all, it was a Democratic host, it was a nothing burger, nothing happened, nothing went on. Like, why did Trump want these Democrats to be investigated if it was nothing? You don't investigate nothing.
Prosecute. Todd Blanche seems to want to insist that it's okay to just dismiss the people who are showing up in the files because it's not criminal to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody said that. But I think the question that the victims are asking is why then is just the Justice Department not following through on the signals that might be there and doing deeper investigation? And that, I think, is the thing that people don't understand about how they're going about this.
Can I just answer your question, actually?
Yeah, sure.
How can anybody, a defense attorney, a prosecutor, anyone know if there's indicia of criminal acts in those pages when they're redacted? And we're trusting the government who didn't want to give those pages out to do the redacting.
Well,
so no one can answer your question.
And obviously the victims, they are the keepers of a lot of this information. A lot of them want to be interviewed. They want a true investigation, and they don't feel like that's happening.
I'm just okay. I really agree with the president. I think that most Americans just do not care about this. This has been an obsession of elites on the right and now elites on the left. Elites on the right were obsessed with it when they thought they could use it to hurt leftists, and now the left is obsessed with it because they think they can use it to hurt the right. Everything we're seeing in this document dump is evidence of people who exhibited horrific judgment. I have no problem with these people being kind of chased out of public life for continuing to associate with this person. But there is just no evidence, and there has never been any evidence, that the criminal aspect, the underage girls, the pedophilia, the child pornography, that any of that went further than Epstein and Maxwell.
How do we know that until we have the evidence?
I'm saying so far, there has been no evidence of that. I'm looking through all of the documents, and so far there is still no evidence.
Well,
I'm open to it. To me, I just feel like it's like the obsession. I mean, bringing the Clintons in, it's ridiculous.
Right,
well,
but it is
Tell that to Donald Trump. You just said you agree with Donald Trump. You just said you agree with Donald Trump.
I'm saying it's time to move on. And
I think it's interesting. You want to move on from.
She's not a serious person. She literally is not. Oh, it's just time to move on, and I think it's just ridiculous, and I haven't seen everything. Yeah, none of us have seen everything. Like, even people who are working on this since the release of the last 3 million emails, they are still going through this. Like, there's still things that I'm seeing every day about the Epstein Files. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. Like, come on now. Like, are you telling me that you spend every waking moment of your whole entire day looking at all 3 million emails that just got released? You're kidding us, literally.
This, but not from ballots in Fulton County from 6 years ago.
And I will say that literally said, I am not interested in that story at all.
Okay, well, we're not interested in either one. There was a poll a couple of weeks ago that showed that 6% of Americans, said that they feel satisfied with what's been released from the Epstein Files. This has been not only nefarious, it's been incompetent. Millions of pages are redacted that shouldn't be. There are victims' names that have been released that should not have been. There's files that aren't. There's pages that aren't there that should be there. It's completely incompetent. And on top of it, the president of the United States is saying, "Let's just move on." When it was the president of the United States who was trying to block this from happening in the first place. It started in his base. I have to say, morally and politically, this is a growing problem for him. He can wish it away.
Totally
he can try to divert and talk about.
And let's not forget, he's mentioned in the Epstein Files at least 38,000 times. As we know right now, what it's been reported, he's mentioned 38,000 times. So just 38,000 times he just randomly mentioned. Like, come on now. Who are we kidding? Of course he didn't want the files to be released because he all up and down in the files. Come on now.
Enton had an amazing. I just want to cite the wonderful Harry Enton, who had an amazing segment on this 6 months ago, where CNN asked pollsters what percentage of Americans this is a top voting issue for them, and you know what the answer was? A big fat zero.
Yeah, I don't know that it needs to be a top voting issue for Americans for it to not be important to them how it's being handled. But I also just want to note. I mean, you alluded to the potential problems for Trump. This Clinton deposition, Trump actually had some nice things to say about Clinton when he was asked about it. And it could very well be because he recognizes that there's a precedent being set here, that they're going to haul a former president in and a family member into Congress to testify about Epstein. And you better believe that when Democrats have the opportunity to do the same, they will do the same for Donald Trump.
Abby, can't you
and that is a political problem
for saying something kind about
no,
those
not.
This hoe is gaslighting these people. Like, she is gaslighting them. Oh my God. Oh.
Donald Trump, that's it. Stop sucking up. He's not watching
I
probably.
literally just said 2 negative things about him.
Listen, there's no credit. I'm not
He
crediting
said a
him. I'm
very
not
nice
giving him
thing
to
about Bill Clinton. He was against
it doesn't
calling
matter
everyone
what
to
the
do this
motivation
You believe
testimony.
everything he
It doesn't
says?
really matter what the motivations, whether it's nice or not.
Let's not forget, him and the Clintons used to be friends. So, yeah, of course he can say nice things about them.
I don't really care. The issue is Trump now at risk of being hauled before Congress to testify on the Epstein Files if Democrats retake control?
Well, first of all, Abby, I would say this. You're talking about a president who is quite used to the left hauling him into court to testify.
He's never been hauled into the halls of Congress to testify.
I would say this. I've never personally had a conversation with the president or anyone close to him about this issue. I have a sneaking suspicion that if he was to ask to come testify, I think he would. I don't think that you guys can laugh.
Donald
Trump.
It is a little
You guys
funny.
can laugh.
It's
But she
ironic.
raises a valid point.
He
And
wouldn't
this is
even
why I
testify
talked
in his own
about.
court
This is
hearing.
why I talked about the fact that actually on this show that we should not politicize this issue. That the full weight of the government should be behind bringing justice to these victims, and everybody should be ashamed of themselves.
But it's already politicized because why does Trump only want to investigate the Democrats and not just everyone in general? It shouldn't matter about party affiliation, right? Again, he's trying his bald ass, because I'm bald too, trying to gaslight us too.
For saying Republican, Democrat, Donald Trump, this isn't a political issue. This is about people that were victimized, and we should be investigating.
Tell that to Donald Trump.
Listen, can I finish my point? We should be leaving no stone unturned on this issue.
Tell
So
that to
I don't
Donald
think
Trump.
that this is like a Republican jab. You're absolutely right. The right used it when they thought it was going to hurt the left. The left used it when they thought they were going to hurt the right.
Donald
And
Trump is the one who is spewing this conspiracy for years.
And-
Donald Trump
And if
has been
You just
spewing.
said, sir,
It's
that you
also-
think that
Donald-
we should not investigate the Clintons because they left office.
No, I
20 years
said
ago.
by
That's
all
not
I
right.
said
We
by
should investigate
all
everybody.
means go ahead and investigate them. But they left office 13 years ago
Well,
or
there is no
25
but.
years
There's
ago.
no but. I don't care if they
yes,
would have
there
been
is
in office when Jesus Christ
there
was
is a
here.
but. You don't
They should be
investigate one
investigated.
side and not investigate the other and
I
say
agree.
you're actually conducting a fair and
I
impartial
agree.
investigation.
Everybody.
All right.
This
Investigate
wasn't-
everybody.
This last quick point, this wasn't political until the government who said, when Trump came into office, we're releasing the Epstein Files. It's on my desk, Pam Bondi. It's coming out. We're telling it to all of you. And then all of a sudden, no, we're not giving you anything. Then it became political. So don't
No
blame
stone
that.
unturned. Investigate
anyone but the
everybody and
government.
bring justice to the victims.
We are often told when the president
All right. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and share the full length of this video with you guys in the description box. So make sure you guys check out the full video. Again, thank you to this content creator. Now, I want to say this. I hadn't really talked about the Epstein Files too much, like, little things here and there. But I want to let you guys know the reason why it seems like the Epstein Files is nothing is because they purposely wanted us to think of it as nothing. They wanted to release it so messy and in this way where they just put things out there and have us all confused. So then we're like, oh, well, this seems like it's not really anything. Because also you got to remember, they're mixing in testimony that the FBI had, but those testimonies, some of them aren't true. Some of the things that people were saying or stories that they were recanting don't really pan out and they don't really make sense. Again, with the FBI, they're going to look into all claims being made. That's their job. And so a lot of that is mixed in with emails that Epstein had, also photos of redacted faces. And sometimes those redacted faces aren't even victims. They're just random photos of random women. Like, for example, there was a picture with Epstein, Diana Ross, and Michael Jackson, and 3 redacted faces. You know who those redacted faces were? Though their kids, Paris, Michael, and then Evan Ross, Diana Ross's son. That's who it was. But those weren't victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So it's a lot of misinformation and a lot of confusing information in there. This was done on purpose. A lot of people thought this was going to be like the Mueller report. Remember with Russiagate? It was going to be like the Mueller report where they actually went through and did an actual report of things they found and what came out of the whole investigation. With this situation, it was just basically dropped out there. And so I'm like, all right, well, you put the pieces together. It was meant to be confusing. So do not forget that when you hear people talk about, oh, it's nothing, you know, it just seems like a whole bunch of misinformation or unfound stories. It was released this way to confuse us. There's something there. There's a reason why Trump is saying that this is a Democratic hoax and making this heavily politicized because somebody like Trump don't want the truth out there. You guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Please let me know your thoughts about the Epstein, and do some of you guys feel like we should just let this go? Be honest about it. Let me know in the comment section. I love y'all for watching, but we out of here, y'all. Deuces, everybody.